Well, it seems to me that it's quite cold in here.
Cold? I'm almost frozen. But I ain't frozen with cold, I'm frozen with scare.
Tilly, take some wood from that basket over there and light a fire, would you? Well, did you hear me, Tilly?
Yeah, I heard you, Miss Ryder.
Then why don't you do as you're told?
I wouldn't touch anything in this house if my life depended on it.
Well, if you don't do as you're told, I'll be compelled to discharge you.
Oh, if only you would.
What?
It'd be the biggest favor anyone ever did for me.
I never would have brought you here if Marvin hadn't insisted.
Poor dear Mr. Ryder. I worked for him in his townhouse for years, and now he's dead and buried. He was such a wonderful man. Oh!
Marvin Ryder was one of the wealthiest men in America. Well, what are you crying for, Tilly? He was no relative of yours.
I know that. That's why I'm crying.
It's getting cold in here every minute. I suppose I'll have to light the fire myself. Tilly, stop frustrating. What's happened to Mother?
She?
Come here and help me with Mother, Tilly.
That's the Miss Arden.
We'll have to figure out the place on the divan.
We'll need a pulley and tackle for that.
We'll cause Mother to faint.
She said she wasn't afraid. And she bent down before the fireplace and collapsed. Pride goes before a fall.
Help me lift her. Get some water, Tilly.
Yes, Miss Arden.
Are you getting the water, Tilly?
Water won't do real good, Miss Arden. Your mom had a bath this morning?
There, darling. Just take it easy. She's returning to consciousness.
And I'm returned to unconsciousness.
Where is he? He? Who? Your father. He was staring at me from inside the fireplace. Nonsense, Mother. Father has been dead for over 10 years. It was him, I tell you. His face looks so natural.
Ghosts?
Oh, I almost expected him to say, Libby, you've had all the money you're going to have. Just imagine that yourself.
She saw all right, now I heard it. First, he tapped on them doors, and then he pulled up them window shades, and now he's trying to get inside here!
I'll show you how silly your fears are. Arden, what are you going to do? I'm going to open these doors, that's all.
I feel jumpier than fleas on a blazing dog.
Arden, I forbid you to open those doors. I'm beginning to have a pain in my side again, and you know I can't afford another operation now.
Don't you worry, because you can't afford another operation right now, Miss Ryder. You can go on talking about the old one for another year.
There's nothing to be afraid of. I'll convince you. Tilly! Tilly, where the lights? Let me go! Arden! Oh, Arden! Where's she gone? Oh, search for her, Tilly! Find her! Well, this is dreadful. I think you would jump at the chance to find my daughter.
Jump! Honest, Miss Ryder, I'm so scared. I couldn't even manage a small twitch.
There, I told you your fears were dumb. This business so in sight. Oh, Arden, I thought they'd taken you. There now, Mother. You must calm yourself. You're right. This simply won't do. Tilly, get up off that floor.
Please, let me stay here, Miss Ryder. It'll save me the trouble of falling the next time he appears.
Get up, I say.
There's no rest for the weary. Why didn't we stay in town?
Tilly, go in and change your stocking. It hasn't done in it.
The man will get rich who invents a wristwatch that runs and a woman's stocking that don't.
Are you feeling all right now, darling? About as right as anybody could feel under these circumstances. I don't understand why your Uncle Marvin's lawyer wires and you had to stay there until he arrives. Perhaps it has something to do with poor dear Uncle's will. How absurd. A will can be read any place. Anybody knows that. And we know its contents in any house. I was Uncle Marvin's favorite. He's sure to leave everything to me. But after all, you are only the wife of Uncle Marvin's brother. And isn't it only fitting and proper that your uncle would do everything to me? After all, I just spent 20 years with your father.
Poor Uncle Marvin. His death was so tragic.
I warned him, but he wouldn't listen to me. I told him that if we went out in that automobile that night, that he would never return. I told him so.
I don't remember that, but he seemed possessed to make a trip in his car that night. Nothing could prevent his going.
Marvin was always mysterious in his actions. He was like your father in that respect. The rider man never believed in telling anybody what they were doing.
Was father like that too?
Was he? Well, your father was one of the most mysterious men I ever met. Suspicious of everybody. Why, once, he even accused me of going through his pockets.
I'll never forget the night that we went out to that automobile ride for as long as I live. There lay Uncle Marvin, under that car.
I know. So broken and cracked up that you could hardly tell it was your uncle. Only the fact that it was his car and his wallet and watch and things were on the body could hope that it was him.
It was Uncle Marvin, all right. And now he's dead, and we'll never see him again.
You simply must stop living in the past, Arden. It doesn't pay to brood. After we get some money and straighten up our affairs, we'll head to Europe, and you can be the social success that I always dreamed.
But I don't want to go to Europe, Mother.
You'll love it once we're there. One meets so many titled men, members of nobility. One of them is sure to fall in love with you.
No thanks, Mother. A plain American boy is good enough for me.
You're not thinking of Warner Melton, are you? You know I absolutely forbid you to even mention his name.
But I didn't mention it. You did.
That boy will never amount to anything. He has fallen arches in the Temple of Progress.
And I'm certain he will amount to a great deal. Why are you so opposed to Warner, Mother?
Well, he hasn't any background for one thing, and for another, he's such a bore. I personally prefer the man that wastes his own time to the one that wastes mine.
I've always found Warner very interesting.
Well, you're the only one who has. Why, whenever that boy came to call on you, I wish he would check himself at the door and send in his hat. He was forever pushing his oddly shaped nose into other people's affairs.
That's because Warner is interested in humanity.
Why, he hasn't even a college education, and you know how essential that is. Look at the man who nearly finished his grammar school. He has to be satisfied with a position as a streetcar motorman.
But Mother...
Don't interrupt your mother when she's speaking, Arden. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Look at the man who merely graduates from grammar school. He has to be satisfied with the position as a streetcar motorman. But look at the man who graduates from college.
I don't see how...
Look at the man who graduates from college and has his diploma. You won't see him running a streetcar, no indeed.
No, indeed. The college graduate won't be a motorman.
I should say not.
No, he'll be a conductor. Besides, I won't care what Warner did.
That's just it. If only he'd do something. Why? When that boy was young, he used to run a wheelbarrow upside down for fear of someone putting something in it.
Well, Warner is doing something now. Something wonderful.
Well, I don't believe it. What is he doing?
It's a secret. He hasn't even told me.
Probably because of some sort of menial work that nobody else wanted.
Don't you worry about that, Mother. There aren't any flies on Warner.
Of course there aren't. Even flies know where to draw the line. Now remember what I told you, young lady. You are not to see Warner Mountain again. I absolutely forbid it. You are going to be a great heiress, and I'm going to see that you marry a count. Or a prince. A prince? At least that. Anything's possible now you have so much money. Just think, your uncle had millions, and will inherit all of his wealth. Our pictures will be in every paper in the country. Never mind, I must get your photographs taken.
Well, I wish that lawyer would get here so that we could leave.
I have lists made up of all the new clothes we'll need for our European jaunt.
I don't know how you can think of shopping at a time like this, Mother. Now that Uncle Marvin has been dead for such a short time.
Your uncle would want me to look my best at all times. He was always so proud of my youthful appearance.
Was he? I don't remember that.
Oh, there goes another one of those clocks. There must be at least 20 of them in this house and no two alike.
Clocks were Uncle Marvin's hobby. He was always tinkering with them.
I must give Tilly orders not to wind them anymore. Then we won't have to listen to those ugly chimes.
I wonder if that last trip that Uncle Marvin took had something to do with the clock.
That's one thing we'll never know. But what I would like to know just now is just how much money your uncle left us. That's the all-important question just now. Who could be calling at this hour? Why, that's simple. It's the lawyer. Oh, do I look presentable, Arden? You know, first impressions account for a great deal. Well, why doesn't Tilly answer that bell?
I'll see who it is.
Bring the lawyer right in, darling, and have him set his things on the hall tree. Now all of our troubles are over.
Come right in, won't you?
Why,
You don't remember me, do you? I'm Stella, Frank's scheduled to be here no later than tonight. I didn't want to come, but Frank insisted. You know he won't go anywhere without his little Stella.
Really?
Hello, Libby. I see that you and Stella have hit it off right from the start.
Frank Backus, didn't I ever tell you not to smoke a cigar in other people's houses?
But Stella, you don't know what this cigar is.
Oh, don't I? A cigar is a few leaves of tobacco rolled together with fire at one end and a fool on the other.
Oh, well, I suppose I didn't want that cigar anyhow. Isn't it wonderful the way my girl takes care of me, Cousin Libby?
Don't call me Cousin Libby. It sounds so plebeian.
That's right. Call her Libby and drop the cousin. Do you expect to be mentioned in the will, too?
Well, my daughter and I are the chief beneficiaries of Marvin Ryder's will.
I always heard that he was a swell skate, though I never met him. Frank told him all about me, though, so I'm sure we'll be in for a good share of the money.
There's no doubt about that. I'm gonna buy a new car.
You'll do nothing of the sort. I'll spend the money as soon as we get it.
But darling, a car would lower our expenses. I have too much overhead.
Too much over your head and too little under your hat. Men have no idea the value of money, don't you think so, Libby? I always say that it's a woman who pays and pays.
Yeah, but look at whose money she uses.
Frank, take my coat. Anybody think you had learned anything by being married?
There are two things I've learned from being married. One is that a husband isn't something to be waited on, and the other is that a wife is something to be waited for.
Ma, but this is a dismal place. What's the matter, Lib? You look as happy as a close bang.
You know, darling, there's an automobile on the market now that has knees. Do you know what that's for?
Needs, eh? I suppose after running a pedestrian down, it can kick him, too. There'll be no automobile in our family, Frank Backus. If you ever had a car of your own, the first thing you would do would be to take a turn for the worse.
Now ain't she the little cut-up Libby? Wherever we go, she's the life of the party.
What sort of work are you engaged in, Cousin Frank?
Frank has a grand job. He's a representative for a New York portrait company.
I suppose that means he goes house to house trying to sell enlarged photographs.
Frank has always been interested in photography. Just the other day, he showed me a picture of you that his father took just before the war. It was a beautiful picture.
Well, you must be the one that was taken just before the World War.
No, I mean the one that was taken just before the Civil War. Well, how come you have no husband, Cousin Arden?
Well, my daughter's much too young to marry.
Well, she's old enough to speak for herself, isn't she? Don't tell me that a girl who's as pretty as you are has had lots of chances to get hitched.
Then you believe in marriage?
I'll say I do. And so does my husband, don't you, Frank? Well, Frank, haven't you anything to say?
I'm not foolish to try to say anything while you are doing the talking, my love.
Yes, indeed. Husbands have their uses. I've always had plenty of beaux.
Really?
Why, yes. Before I met Frank, I went around with an orchestra leader, but I had to give him up because we had too many overtures.
Lucky man.
What, snapped?
I was just thinking of poor Cousin Martin. I can't realize that he's gone.
I think it's frightful the way people die nowadays, and they don't seem to think anything of it. My, but it is cold in here. Can't we have some fire?
There's some wood in that basket over there.
Hop to it, Frank. You know how to start a fire.
But I'm so tired after that long trip.
Well, cheer up. After we get the money that Cousin Marvin left you, you won't be so tired.
Stella, I think we better leave here.
Why, that's a splendid idea. And in case Marvin did leave you some little thing, I'm sure his lawyer can advise you.
Frank Backus, have you lost what little mind you had? What ails you? What's that in your hand? Will you say something?
Just as I came over to the fireplace, a hand appeared above the mantel and placed this letter on top of it.
That's absurd. Hands can't come through walls.
Oh, can't they? We've seen more peculiar things than that happen in this house.
You mean ghosts?
Exactly.
I don't believe a word of that kind of talk.
Come along, everybody. Tilly must be in trouble.
Come along, Frank. Perhaps if this burglar decides someone in men's clothing might scare them off. and I could hear a thing over the line except a low buzz that didn't mean a thing.
Well, I'll see who it is. They'll answer to me, all right. Hello? Now you'd better answer to me.
What happened, Mother? What caused you to scream that way?
Nothing.
Well, it must have been a pretty exciting nothing that caused all that noise. I insist that you tell me what happened.
It was a strange voice. One that I never heard before. And it screamed murder at me and told me that we'd all better leave here before we're killed in our sleep.
Oh, well, whoever gave you that message was optimistic, all right. Fancy anybody staying in a place like this.
Well, if we are going to be murdered, what's the difference if we are murdered in our sleep or when we're awake?
Tilly, I think you better go and get some rest. Rest? After what that voice did on the telephone? Frank, get my coat. I'm cold.
On the great day of judgment, some people won't be wished for heat.
Did you say your coat, my love?
That's exactly what I said. Bring it here to me.
I don't expect you to believe me, but your coat isn't here.
Are you sure you put it on that chair? I wouldn't take his word for it. He's so apt to be wrong. But I know that I saw my coat on this very chair.
Well, one thing's for certain. Nobody in this house took them.
Meaning, I suppose, that it wasn't good enough for anyone here to wear.
Draw your own conclusions, Mrs. Backus.
Well, I'll have you know that I paid a lot of money for that coat and I can't afford to lose it.
Unto him that hath, more shall be given. But unto him who ain't got no more, shall be taken away. And that's the truest thing in all the scriptures.
That coat reeked of smartness.
Yeah, it was smart enough to walk away.
If I wasn't sure they'd be well worth our time, I wouldn't stay here another minute. Will or no will, I never should have come here.
I begged you to let me come alone, but you wouldn't hear of it.
Why, that simply must be the lawyer. Finally, all this can be over with.
Yes, this is the place. I can feel his presence in this room.
Who is this woman?
Forgive them, for they do not understand. Tell me more, O dear departed one.
She acts to me like she has bats in her belfry.
What is the meaning of this intrusion?
You shouldn't have spoken. I was just about to receive a valuable message.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, and now you've ruined my mood.
My coat! How would you happen to have it?
It was in the hallway just as I came in. The front door was wide open, and I was afraid that the wind would blow the coat away.
It's an ill wind that'll do somebody some good.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
I am Madame Alda, and I came here because Marvin Ryder begged me to.
What? Margaret Ryder begged you to come here.
Yes, I received a message from him last night.
But that's impossible. He's been dead and in his grave.
As if that mattered. Of course he's in his grave. But I spoke to him last night. He commanded me to come here.
A little while ago I thought I was going crazy, but now I'm sure I am.
I am speaking of the great soul of Marvin Ryder, of his astral self, the part of him that's imperishable.
So you spoke to dear Marvin, eh? Did he tell you the contents of his will?
I am not interested in material things, nor is Mr. Ryder. Only his soul speaks to me.
Do you know where poor Marvin's soul is?
I have done as you bade me, gallant soul. Do not worry. All of your orders shall be obeyed.
Well, go on, madam. Whatever your name is. What did he have to say?
I feel a hostile presence in this room.
I knew it. I sense the same thing. I've always been told that I was gifted with psychic powers.
Abstain from flattery. That's scripture too.
There is a danger in this house. Grave danger for all of you.
Oh, lady, please don't talk that way. You make the chills go up my back and nickel plate my belly button.
I don't feel so good either.
Marvin Ryder speaks to all of you through me, his favorite medium.
Well, go on, madame. What did he have to say?
One of the women here is gifted with great understanding.
Oh, you need mention any names, madame. We all know whom you mean.
And this person was very close to Marvin Ryder.
Why, that's true, of course. Oh, madame, I think it too wonderful for words.
The person referred to is in grave danger.
Oh!
Marvin Ryder has requested me to tell But you must all leave here at once, before the night is over, if you wish to escape with your lives.
Leave? But without finding out how much money we're going to get? Well, I'm going to stay right here until the will is ready.
But get a load of this and you might change your mind.
Would you mind speaking English, Mrs. Backus?
Never mind what I speak. Just cast your objects over this letter.
To the present inmates at Hillcrest, be warned in time and leave immediately. Certain death waits to those who disregard this message.
It isn't signed. I never pay attention to unanimous letters.
Perhaps we better leave at once, Mother.
Marvin Ryder has spoken to all of you.
Well, I wouldn't leave here now if my life depended on it.
According to the letter, it does.
What are you gonna do, Stella?
We are going to stay right here until we get our inheritance.
Well, I suppose if your mind is made up, I'll have to die for your sake, my love.
You always say that, but you never do it. I'm hungry.
How can a person think of food at a time like this? Look, he's having another one of them fits.
Be warned in time.
I will not stand here listen to any more of that bubbling. I crave some good hot coffee.
That is the first sensible thing anybody said since we've landed here.
I'll show you where the things are. Promise not to leave me alone out there.
Don't worry about that. Frank is always the last to finish any food. Come on.
Well, I suppose it doesn't make any difference if we are murdered on a full stomach or an empty one.
Come along, madame. I have several questions which I wish to ask you. Come along, Arden.
Arden,
Warner, you shouldn't be here.
is that the sort of reading I get after not having sleep?
Since the night that Uncle Marvin was killed in that automobile accident.
It seems a lifetime.
I know, but what can we do? Mother has forbidden me to see, and I don't want to argue with her while we're in the midst of all this confusion.
Well, she has to know something, and I think we ought to tell her.
Not now, please. Our lives have just been threatened.
I wouldn't pay any attention to that, Arden.
Why, that simply must be the lawyer.
Oh, what can we do? Mother must have found you here.
Don't worry about me. She won't find me.
Well, did you answer the bell, Arden?
No, I didn't. You see,
I don't see. I'll get it myself.
I can't stay here, Warner.
You mean I can't leave? Just forget I'm here, Arden.
What's so wonderful you were able to make it, Mr. Marvin? Arden, dear, this is Mr. Marvin, the lawyer. Mr. Marvin, my daughter.
Delighted, Miss Ryder.
I suppose the will is in that briefcase you hold. In other words, our fate is in your hands.
Quite so, quite so. Where are the others, Miss Ryder?
I'll get them.
Oh, this is such a dreadful occasion, Mr. Marvin. It's almost too much to bear.
Quite so, quite so. But in the midst of life, we are in death.
Oh, and do you quote scriptures too? I just adore men who use biblical quotations. It's so recherché.
Now, let me see. Are we all here?
So far we are. But if we don't leave now, we might not be.
Everybody please be seated. This is a most momentous occasion.
Oh, poor Uncle Marvin. We all loved him so.
I suppose I might as well proceed. I feel that my end is drawing near.
Oh, poor Marvin. How can we go on without him?
Hush, Mother, please.
So I, Marvin Ryder of the County of Ulster, State of New York, being of sound and disposing mind,
Some people would dispute that statement.
Will you sit still and listen?
do hereby declare this to be my last will and testament, hereby revoking all other wills by me made.
Never mind those tiresome details, Mr. Marvin. All we really want to know is just how much money did Uncle Marvin leave, and to whom did he leave it?
Yeah, I want to know if I have left anything for come to this awful place and putting up with all this misery.
If you'll have a little patience, I'll get to that shortly. First, I direct that all of my just debts and funeral expenses be paid.
Well, how much does that amount to?
All the bills aren't in yet.
I'll make sure that they're kept down as much as possible.
Second, I will devise a bequeath to Mrs. Libby Ryder, the wife of my dead brother.
Yes, yes. How much did dear, lovely Marvin leave me?
To Mrs. Libby Ryder, the wife of my dead brother, 50,000 good wishes in the sum of $1 in cash.
What? $1? Why, the horrid, selfish, penurious ingrate!
Mother, please. No doubt Uncle Marvin had a good reason for doing as he did.
Good reason? After all the times I nursed that man to sickness and allowed him to bore me with stories of his inventions, why, he was an ungrateful wretch and I never did like him.
Third, to my faithful servant Tilly Meade, I leave the estate known as Hillcrest, with all the grounds surrounding it to be hers absolutely.
Congratulations, Tilly.
That's wonderful.
Provided
Provided what?
that she does not marry until she is 30. If she is single on her 30th birthday, the entire estate shall pass over to her.
She's safe. The estate is as good as hers for now.
Where did I walk with this place? I'd be afraid to stay in it overnight. Why didn't you leave me money so I could do as I please?
Fourth, to my cousin Frank Backus, I leave the sum of $5,000. It being understood that this money is to go entirely to him and is not to be touched by his nagging, hen-pecking wife Stella, and she is not to have any say in the disposal of the money.
Nagging, hen-pecking wife, eh? The hateful old thing. I'm glad he's dead, or I'd give a piece of my mind and put him right back where he is now.
Uncle Marvin certainly knew women. Now I can buy that new automobile.
You'll never get me to ride in it.
That's another thing to be grateful to Uncle Marvin for. No backseat driving in my car.
Fifth, all the rest of my estate, not already mentioned, including all property, real and personal, I give, bequeath, and devise to my beloved niece, Arden Ryder, the daughter of my late brother.
Well, isn't it wonderful? We'll have the most of his money after all.
It being understood that Libby Ryder is to have no part in the handling of this money, and that no matter who Arden marries, the money is to remain in her name exclusively.
Dear Uncle Marvin, I can hardly believe it.
Well, then we can leave here now.
As soon as I'm finished reading the will.
Well, I thought you had finished. All the rest of the money is to go to my daughter.
But there are two very important codicils left in the will.
What's that?
A codicil, it's an appendix to the will.
Oh, you never knew that. We could just have the appendix taken out of the will, and Miss Ryder had hers taken out of her side last year.
Pardon me. Resume your seats, please. The sum of $20,000 has been placed in a black tin box. This box is hidden in a wall safe in my bedroom at Hillcrest.
$20,000? But what's that to be used for?
This money is to be used as follows. $10,000 is to be used to find the party who was guilty of murdering me, and the other $10,000 is to be a reward to the person or persons who capture my murderer.
Murder?
Exactly. For as certain as I am being at Hillcrest tonight, just as certain as I am that Marvin Ryder was murdered with criminal intent. Aha, here are my matches.
And the Lord said, let there be light.
Are you all right, Mother?
All right. I feel as though I were being punished for all the wrongs I never committed.
Virtue was its own reward.
Tilly, get up off that floor. This is no time to be quoting proverbs.
No, it's easier to argue about religion than it is to live up to it.
Why, when I think of the spiteful old things Marvin Ryder said about me,
You mustn't nurse grievances, Mrs. Ryder. A woman who is as charming and cultured as you needs no defense.
Oh, Mr. Marvin, you're so vigorous, so forceful. I knew from the moment we met that we were kindred spirits.
I felt the same about you, Mrs. Ryder.
What is this? A mutual admiration society?
Speaking about spirits,
Look not upon the wine when it is red.
I'm not talking about wine.
Then what are you talking about?
She's gone.
Who's gone?
That Madame Lucis, know, the one that can speak to the dead?
I'm glad she's gone. She made me feel so transparent.
What I want to know is who fired them shots?
Shots?
Frank, quit that gulping.
I can't talk if I don't gulp. My mouth feels full of something or other.
It's your liver. Swallow it and you'll be able to talk. I'm going out to see who fired those shots.
As a lawyer, I'd advise you not to go out and hunt trouble, Mrs. Backus.
Yes, I know. As a lawyer, you are accustomed to bringing trouble rather than hunting it. I'm starting to think that you're the one behind all those unkind tracks that old man Ryder made about me in his will.
I had nothing to do with that, I assure you. That will was made before I met you.
Well, that remark has double meaning. It can be taken two ways. Let me pass.
What do you want to go out there for, Stella?
That's what I say. It's bad enough in here.
I'm starting to think that you're the one who murdered Marvin Ryder. That's it, of course. They always say that the murderer comes back to the scene of the crime.
What's that?
Sounds like somebody knocking on a door.
But there's nobody out there.
You never can tell in this house.
I suggest we all go out and see.
That's a splendid idea.
Come along, Mr. Marvin. I shall need you for protection. I'm glad there's at least one man in this house.
You've forgotten about me, Libby.
As if I could.
Are you coming still, my dear?
I suppose you'll need me for protection.
That Mrs. Baptist has enough chips on her shoulder to start a forest fire with. Poor Mr. Baptist. Blessed are those who suffer for the sake of peace.
Warner, where are you? Hello? Hello?
What are you doing here?
Where did you come from?
Well, how did you get here?
I've been ringing that bell of yours for 10 minutes now. Why don't you let me in?
Bell? What bell?
The front door bell, of course.
But we didn't hear a thing. We were all in this room together. Did either of you hear the front door bell ring?
Of course not.
You don't mind if I sit down, do you? My, what a night I've had.
Please sit down. Have you been traveling far?
I live in Preston Corners. That's about a mile from here. I was on my way home from Beaverton when my car started to act peculiarly. Well, that's not strange at all. Most cars do act peculiarly. I've never had any trouble with mine before. Finally had to stop it, thinking I'd get out and look the engine over, when suddenly I heard a man's voice just behind me.
A man's voice?
Who was he?
Weren't you frightened to death?
No, man, I wasn't frightened.
Well, weren't you?
I was paralyzed. I guess us young girls scare easier than you older women.
What did this man look like?
Well, he wasn't tall and he wasn't small, but he wasn't stout and he wasn't thin.
My, that's a detailed description, all right. So definite. But then again, what can one expect from Creston Corners?
I want you to know that.
Was this man a stranger to you?
No, ma'am, I had never seen him before. He'd been riding along in my rumble seat without me ever knowing it.
How remarkable.
Go on. Tell us more about this man, miss.
Yes, and continue to be as clear as you have been. He said that he was trying to get as far as Hillcrest.
That's this place. It seems as though I've heard that before.
Go on, my girl.
He was the strangest acting man I ever did see. And I'm sure you've seen them plenty strange in Quaker Corners. It's not Quaker Corners, it's Creston Corners. Well, I must admit that some men there are pretty strange. There's young Bert Haas, he's our hired man. He milks cows. I never knew that milk came from cows. You don't say? Where do you think it came from? From coconuts. And the nuttier the coconuts, the more milk you get.
Go on, my child. Were you able to start the car?
Yeah, I looked it over and did a little tinkering and it started right up again. How remarkable. The man was in my rumble seat when I got alongside this place. I stopped the car and I told him to get out. When I went back to look for him, I couldn't find him anyplace. Would you believe it? No, I wouldn't. Men don't just disappear from automobiles that way. Not even from your automobile. That's just what I say. I started the car again and...
Did you hear any shots while you were outside?
I certainly did. That's just what I was about to tell you.
Well, go ahead and tell us.
Well, you see, when I started the car, I went to look back for the man who had disappeared, when all of a sudden, my car started backfiring.
You mean those 3 shots we heard were the backfiring of your automobile?
that, my love. I won't.
I thought that I had seen lights inside this place, but I didn't see any, and I noticed it was in darkness.
We noticed it too.
The wind was howling, and I couldn't locate the strange man any place, so I decided to come in. I rang the front doorbell, but it didn't make a sound, so it must be out of order.
It must be. We didn't hear it ring.
We heard everything else ring. Oh dear, I feel just as though I had been dipped in ice water.
That's the way you look, too. All wet. Well, I guess I better...
It's a letter.
It's probably another death warning.
Maybe this one is going to tell us what time we're going to be murdered.
Why fear death? It is the most beautiful of all adventures. In a short time, all of your troubles will be over, unless you leave here immediately.
Oh, this is dreadful. Something must be done at once.
There's only one thing to do. Leave here at once.
It's plain to be seen the person writing these letters is trying to frighten us all tonight.
Frighten us. I was scared before I ever saw one of them letters.
Did I hear you say you received a letter earlier this evening, Mr. Backus?
That's right.
May I see it, please?
You can have it. Well, you'll have to come and get it. I can't move just now.
That's strange.
What do you mean, Mr. Marvin?
You must have imagined something was written on this piece of paper.
He didn't anything of the kind. You don't know Frank. He hasn't any imagination. I saw what was written on that paper.
Then how do you account for the fact that nothing is written on it? It is as blank as though it has never been used.
Blank? But I read that letter myself.
Keep talking, Mrs. Ryder, please.
That won't be hard for a living to do.
You see, my dear friends, we're all descendants of the great American patriot, Nathaniel Hale.
Now, what did he mean by that? And who is Nathaniel Hale?
Oh, you know, Libby. Nathaniel Hale is the great orator who said, "My only regret is that I only have one wife to give to my country."
My little ruse didn't work.
Do you want me to keep talking, Mr. Marvin?
Heaven forbid!
I was trying to capture the person in the next room who could have placed the letter on top of the fireplace.
You mean that by talking loudly and giving the impression that we're all engaged in conversation, you'd be able to catch the culprit unawares?
Exactly. But there wasn't anybody in the next room who could have placed the letter on top of the fireplace.
Somebody put that letter there. I saw a long arm reach out and do it.
But, my dear girl, there isn't a soul in the next room. It's the Chinese prayer rug. The one Marvin Ryder brought back with him from China.
China? That means we're going to be murdered in Chinese fashion.
I feel like chop suey already.
That's how you've always looked to me.
Glamorous is the tongue of a vain woman.
The fact that this just appeared on the fireplace makes me think it's a very important clue in Marvin Ryder's murder.
I do wish she'd stop that screaming.
Let her alone, Stella. She's like most women. They get excited over nothing.
Yeah, and then they marry him.
What could that rug have to do with Michael's murder, Mr. Marvin?
I haven't the slightest idea, but the fact that it appeared up there makes me think it's the most important clue.
Oh, I think so too, Mr. Marvin. Isn't it just wonderful the way I've come to trust you? But then again, I always did think lawyers were wonderful.
Yes, lawyers are all wonderful before they send their bill.
But how are we going to get to the bottom of this?
You just leave everything to me. And we'll find the murder of Marvin Ryder's if it takes everything I have. Rest assured of that.
Well, you needn't look at me that way. I didn't kill Marvin Ryder, though I'll admit I'd like to after the things he said about me in his will.
Now you can see why I've asked all those concerned in Marvin Ryder's goodwill to gather here while I read it tonight.
You mean that we are all under suspicion?
Does this mean that I'll always be arrested? Even though my body may be placed in a prison cell, my soul will fly upward and onward.
Oh dear, I do hope we're not going to be subject to summonses, bonds, corpus delicti, and whatnot. I shall never be able to endure it.
Don't worry about that, Mrs. Ryder. I wonder why Inspector Lake hasn't arrived yet.
Lake? Who is he?
He's a police detective, a fine man, a very intelligent one. He'll discover the murder of Martin Ryder if it costs every penny I have.
Imagine any member of the Ryder family having to be mixed up with policemen and people of that ilk. We'll never be able to live it down socially.
I bet I know where that inspector is right now in Watkins Lake.
Really, Mrs. Backus? And where is he?
Out parading the streets looking for any little boys who have broken windows while playing baseball. That's the way most policemen spend their time.
But children don't play baseball at this time of year, my love.
I know that, Frank Backus, but that doesn't prevent the inspector from looking for any little boys who played ball that summer, now does it?
Perhaps the inspector rang the front doorbell and he's waiting for a reply. If you remember, I did tell you it was out of order.
That's right.
Why, what was that?
Why, that must have been the chimes of Normandy giving their imitation of a front doorbell. I must leave here at once.
I'm sorry, miss, but nobody can leave here until they've been seen and questioned by the inspector.
That girl's forever falling for things.
That's just the way you fell for me, my love. Like a house falls for an earthquake.
One more crack like that out of you, Frank Backus, and you'll think that there is an earthquake. You know why I married you, don't you?
Of course. Because I was the only man who ever asked you to.
Truth stinketh like a serpent's tooth.
Quiet, everybody, while I usher Inspector Lake in.
And he said nobody was here but us. That man is so dumb, even you seem brilliant compared to him, Frank.
Well, I can't wait to see the inspector. I know he must be one of those distinguished men, the sort one sees in the talkies.
He'll think he is in the talkies when you started on the living.
If I get arrested, who's gonna bail me out?
Don't worry about that, Tilly. You just quote scriptures to the judge, and he'll be glad to release you.
The inspector, folks?
Aha! Don't move, anybody!
This man, the inspector? Why, he's an even bigger joke than I expected.
Maybe the laugh will be on you. A murder has been committed, and I wouldn't be surprised if you were involved in it.
Oh, Stella never murdered Uncle Marvin.
How do you know she didn't?
Because she never could get close enough to him to do it.
I'm sure the inspector realizes that we're not ordinary murderers.
And he's not an ordinary inspector. No man with that kind of mustache could be called ordinary.
Well, I'm so glad you're able to make it, Inspector.
Chance. Acton Chance.
Well, I'm sure you do, but what's your name?
Chance. Acton Chance.
Well, I'm sure all detectives act on chance, if only they choose to admit it.
No, that's my name, ma'am. Acton is the first name, and Chance is the second.
You see, folks, Inspector Lake couldn't make it tonight, so he sent his assistant in his place.
That's all right with me. Old Lake could have been half as funny as this bird.
Acton Chance, that's me. I don't sit around and wait for things to happen. I make them happen.
I don't doubt that, Chancey. And the most unfortunate thing that ever happened to you occurred the day you were born.
You are prepared to show us your credentials, Inspector?
No, I'm not. You see, sir, it's this way. I have just been the victim of a holdup.
You mean that you've been robbed, Inspector?
That's it. I was held up and roused while I was on my way here.
Mercy! We ought to hire a detective to find the things and catch the criminals.
Don't you worry about that. I'll find my things, and I'll capture the bandit that held me up too. I have a position of responsibility.
And I'll bet you lay awake at night thinking of new ways to prevent it from becoming a responsibility. You know, Mr. Marvin, I don't believe this man's a real inspector at all.
And why not, Mrs. Backus?
Because once I saw a real detective, and he didn't look like him.
You shouldn't talk that way to the inspector, Mrs. Stella.
I suppose there has been any damage done that an aspirin could repair.
What was that?
You're supposed to be the detective, not us.
Aha! Young lady, where have I seen your face before?
Pray where you see it now.
I haven't. You're the girl who drove me out here.
That's an alright.
Well, it certainly is fine that we're all here together.
And Noah gathered unto himself every living thing and placed them together in the ark.
What did she say?
Never mind that. Let's get on to business at hand.
My idea, exactly. I never waste time. That is the secret of my success.
That's no longer a secret, Inspector. Stella heard you.
The American public pays $13 billion yearly for crime.
$13 billion a year for crime?
That's right.
Well, all I can say is that's too much money.
Statistics prove that the entire population admire detectives more than any other class of heroes.
And statistics prove that every 2 out of 3 of the general population is feeble-minded. Well, don't you think so, Inspector?
Why limit it to 2 out of every 3, Lynn?
Life is a serious business.
So very serious. Few of us ever come out of it alive.
Does crime pay?
Well, sure. It pays detectives. And there wasn't any crime you wouldn't have your salary.
This sort of thing isn't getting us anywhere, Inspector. Let's get on with the crime.
Yeah. I can see that you don't understand my modern methods, sir. You see, I am drinking on the various personalities in this room.
These 2 letters were found placed on the fireplace right there.
But there isn't any writing on either of these letters.
Then the second one was written by the same party who wrote the first one.
What were the contents of these letters?
They were both of a threatening nature.
Have any of you ever been worried by a series of threatening letters?
Sure, I always have. Sometimes I have to write them a dozen times before I get mine.
This is no time for levity, my girl. I'll deal with you later. No doubt you know more about this crime than you have told.
Equals to him who even thinking.
You know, Inspector, I've never been quite fond of policemen. They always have such deep voices and such big feet.
But I'm not a policeman, lady. I'm a detective.
Oh, yes, how stupid of me. No doubt you detectives meet the most interesting people.
Yes, we do. And they're all in the detective business. Was the murdered man your husband?
No, of course not. What made you think such a thing?
Well, I knew he was getting along in years. About your age.
How dare you! I refuse to answer any more of your questions.
Oh, you'll answer them all right. Or you'll be placed in a cell where you'll have plenty of time on your head. Remember that I am in charge here now.
I haven't forgotten it. And ever since you arrived, I've been impressed with the feeling of futility. Why, we have as much chance of discovering the murder now as a grand piano has on a circular stairway.
Answer the inspector's question civilly, Mrs. Ryder. It is best for everybody concerned.
Oh, Mr. Martin, I'll do anything you tell me to.
Now, let me see. Where were you the night Marvin Ryder was murdered?
Where do you think I was?
I'm asking the questions, not you. Where were you?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Because I don't know what night he was murdered on. Must I answer all of these rude questions?
I'm afraid so. The inspector works in his own ways.
No wonder people aren't safe in their own homes anymore. I'm certain that we'll all be murdered before the night is out.
Now, first of all, we must find a motive for the crime. Did the deceased have any enemies?
If you were here when the will was read, you would have found just how many. And after it was read, the list had doubled.
Did you like the deceased, or did you dislike him? Come now, I want the truth.
My husband, Uncle Martin, were always the best of friends.
Do you think he would have given most of his money to my daughter if he hadn't liked me?
So, you were the one to profit most by Old Man Ryder's death.
It just so happened that I did. But I love him with both, and I gladly every penny of the money he left me if I could trace this fellow to me.
And I hope that satisfies your prying issue, Matinsky. Honestly, I never met a man who could ask so many meaningless questions.
Did Marvin Ryder ever tell you that he thought he might be murdered someday?
He did. He most certainly did.
What?
What did he say?
He told me once that every time he met a detective, he wanted to kill him. But that he was too afraid of all the other detectives murdering him for doing it.
Take your seat. I'll have more to say to you later.
Not if I have anything to say about it. You're not the sort of person I could afford to know socially.
I have a suggestion, May.
Oh, yeah? What is it?
Instead of standing around here and asking a lot of foolish questions, why don't you go out and find the murderer of Marvin Ryder?
And also find out what happened to Madame Alda. You're supposed to be a detective. Prove it.
I'll prove it, all right. Darn it! Oh, I wish that hold-up man book.
What book?
The book the correspondence school sent to me when I started studying detecting it. I completed the course in 10 lessons, when it usually takes 15.
This little rug was found placed also on top of the fireplace. I think it's the most important clue in Margaret Ryder's murder.
Yes, yes. It might be. Oh, but then again, it mightn't. I could tell if I had my book.
Well, why not advertise the Lawson book? I'm sure that if the hold-up man knew you wanted it so badly, he'd be glad to give it to you.
And while we're waiting for the return of the book, we can telephone for a real detective. Will Tilly put this chair back where it belongs?
Yes, Miss Ryan.
I'll be in my room if anybody needs me. I wish you good luck, Inspector.
Now that's real nice of you, ma'am. I'm glad that you told any grudges. I didn't mean any harm when I spoke about your age. It's just that I'm observing. I'll pass it up, all right.
I'm sure you will. About as much luck as an absent-minded bullfighter has when he's being charged up by the bull.
Oh. Now what did she mean by that? I wonder.
Don't let it throw you, Chansey. You just wouldn't understand.
Do you want to question me now, Chief?
I'm not ready for you yet. No, ain't that a shame?
What's the problem now, Inspector?
I didn't write down anything that the Ryder woman just told me. Now, I'll have to question her all over again.
She'll love that, I'm sure. We all would.
Would you mind going and finding the inspector a notebook and a pencil?
I think I'll find what you need in the next room, Chief. Labor each day so you can sleep each night.
Yes, sir. This looks like an open and shut case to me. More than a clue. I have an idea as to who killed Margaret Ryder.
Well, who is it?
She profited most by his death, didn't she? As soon as I came in here, she told about how much he loved her uncle. People always boast about how much they love the murdered person when they're guilty.
That's not only ridiculous and absurd, it's crazy. Arlen is the last person in the world who would do such a thing.
How did you know she wouldn't?
Well, I just know that's all. And I didn't have to take a correspondence course in detecting to figure it out.
Thank you, Cousin Stella. You're right. I had nothing at all to do with Uncle Marvin's murder. And as for...
Come along, Mrs. Ryder's in trouble!
Hey, there, wait for me. Just don't let anybody out of your house.
We're back here! Help! Stella, where are you? Stella!
Jackie, what are you yelling about?
I saw a man!
Oh, you did, eh? How unusual. When did all this happen?
Just now when I woke up, won't put me to sleep.
He did. It's small wonder. That man can make a small fortune if he goes to curing insomnia.
What kind of man was he?
A human one. He was just a young fellow. I saw him sitting there, and when I looked again, he was gone.
You were asleep and you've been dreaming again.
I didn't talk in my sleep, did I?
Not this time, but...
Never mind that. Would you know this man if you saw him again?
Here you are, Chief.
Why, thank you, my girl. Is Mrs. Ryder all right?
Yeah, Miss Harden's taking care of her. Well, that was an awful sight.
What happened?
Libby went to get some sleep. She just about closed her eyes when she saw a pair of long arms extending over her. She started to scream loudly.
Arms? Whose arms were they?
It was Madame Alden. She was in another trance.
She'll have more than one trance before I get through with her. You better go back to Mrs. Ryder and make sure the madam woman doesn't get away.
But I'm afraid to leave this room.
Afraid? I'm here, ain't I?
Maybe that's why she's afraid.
You do as I tell you.
All right.
Come along, Frank. We've got to get some sleep tonight.
Now remember, nobody's to leave this house.
You don't think we're going to jump out of the window, do you?
Not if that Tom Chance knows anything about it. You ain't. minutes ago.
And I tell you that I saw that rug in that young fellow's hands.
Well, have you found it?
No, and once more, he won't. That rug is gone forever.
Why, here it is. I thought you said you couldn't find it.
I'm beginning to think that there is something strange going on around here. That rug wasn't in here a few minutes ago.
Now I'd better keep this.
My piano master, know that I seek only to do thy bidding.
What do you know about this murder?
And warn them that they will not heed.
Is it so painful that you have to go on like that?
You are causing the pain by talking too much.
That's right. From now on, all do the talking around here. Was Marvin Ryder murdered?
The spirit is trying to tell me.
Well, tell his spirit to take a correspondence course. Then he'll be able to tell you anything.
Will you be quiet? Go on. What else can you tell me?
There is a grave danger to a man with a small mustache. Madame Alda can tell no more.
A man with a small mustache? That must be me.
Somebody is hindering my control. The spirit world is angry. Woe to those who offend the spirits.
I never offended spirits in all my life.
Follow me and I will try to get another message from the master.
Arden, I've had several narrow escapes. Once I almost ran right into your mother.
Warner, I'm so afraid you're going to be implicated in this murder.
Don't you worry about that.
This detective suspects me of murdering Uncle Marvin.
Well, detectives have to suspect somebody. That's their business.
But suppose he finds out you were here the night that Uncle Marvin started on that ride, and that you groaned bitterly.
But nobody can find that out. Nobody but you and your uncle saw me.
But you told me that you were the last person to speak to Uncle Marvin before he took that ill-fated trip. If this inspector ever finds that out...
Don't you worry about this inspector. I'll take care of him.
You mean?
I'm not going to allow any fifth-rate detective to ruin my plans, especially when I've come this far.
What have you in that box?
I.
Can't you confide in me, Warner? Don't you know that you can trust me no matter what happens?
Of course I do, Arden. You've been such a wonderful help. I only wish I could tell you everything.
Why can't you?
Because I don't want you to become involved. My mission here is of the most delicate nature. Oh, if these people would only leave so that I could spoil this place like Canter.
I'm afraid it's hopeless. Mother is determined to stay.
If only I could have the rest of the night to explore. Everything would be plain sailing. I'll be back later, Arden.
Warner Milton! How dare you come here after I've forbidden you to see Arden?
So my little trick works.
Oh, what trick?
As soon as I discovered that the prayer had gone missing, in front of Marvin Ryder's safe, I rushed out the back door and came around to the front.
No doubt this all means something, but I can't imagine what it is.
Don't listen to a thing he says, Inspector. Look, there in his hands is the black tin box that Marvin Ryder mentioned in his will.
Don't you suppose I use it?
Well, I'm just making sure.
Oh.
What are you crying about? And remember that if you withhold any information that will lead to the arrest of a real criminal, you are under exception for the crime. Mr. Marvin, close the door.
You're making a grave mistake, Inspector Chance. Warner had nothing to do with the crime.
Oh, we'll see about that. Now, my girl, tell us all that you know.
I hate to have to do this, Miss Arden, but I'm a religious woman.
Of course you are. What caused you to cry just now?
I heard everything that Philip said to Miss Arden.
Oh, you did, eh? Well, what did he say?
He said that you were a fifth-rate detective.
Oh, he did, eh?
Well, what's wrong with that? You can't arrest a man for telling the truth.
Silence!
I'm sorry, Miss Arden, but my duty is clear. Murder will outstep scriptures.
Oh, so you heard him confess to the murder now, did you?
He said that he was the last person to speak to Mr. Ryder and that he had a bitter quarrel with him before he went out on that fateful trip.
Aha! Now it is all clear.
I always knew Warner Milton would come to a bad end.
Stop it, all of you. Warner had nothing to do with the crime.
How do you know he didn't?
Arden.
I can't let an innocent person suffer for my crime.
I killed
Are you still at it, Tilly?
Bodies gotta do something, don't they? They close my eyes all night. Verily, the world is a wicked place.
You'd think so if you'd gone through what I did just now.
What's the trouble, Cousin Frank? I thought you were sleeping.
So did I, but Stella had other plans for me. I would have promised not to buy an automobile, so she kept parking until I got up and came out here.
Don't you and Cousin Stella ever stop for a lunch?
Yeah, sometimes we do, just so that Stella can start it all over again.
Can't take it. Can't take it, I say.
What is that?
It's that seance woman.
You can't take it, I tell you, you can't.
What does she mean by saying you can't take it?
I guess she thinks she's talking to the bill collector. Any news of Inspector Chance?
Not yet.
Oh, he certainly is a smart man.
I don't see how you figured that out. Trying to talk sense into that man is like throwing water into the sea.
And he's so good looking. He has a nose like a bloodhound.
Yes, and the rest of his face matches. He would have made a good hitching post if the automobile hadn't came in and crabbed his act.
You shouldn't talk that way about the inspector, Cousin Frank. After all, he gets paid for what he's doing.
That's the trouble. Just imagine paying anybody for messing things up the way that man does.
Don't you think you better go back to your wife?
What for? Can't you let me be happy for a few minutes? Stella will only start picking at me again.
But perhaps you can
Explain to my wife? That's impossible. She won't let me get a word in no matter what the argument is about. Why, if I became deaf and dumb, it would take her a week to figure it out.
My sister was married once, and she and her husband had the same trouble. They disagreed like two weighing machines.
I'm gonna stay right here for the rest of the night.
Frank! Frank Backus, you come here this instant!
Coming, my love. I'll go in, but I'm doing it under protest.
Oh, if I'd only get some word, if this dreadful night would ever end.
She's gone!
What's the matter now, Tilly?
First the inspector disappears, and now Madame loses. What if I'm next? What if we're all murdered in our tracks? Who is it? What is it?
Oh, mother, control yourself.
Is she dead yet? I mean, can she breathe? Oh dear, I'm so upset I don't know what I mean.
Dear Lord, you allowed children to leave the animals' dining room, and you allowed Dan to leave the lion's cage. Please let me out of this death chamber.
Tilly, there's no time to be intoning. Get some water, quick! Well, hurry! I said you're the slowest, quietest person I ever saw.
Verily, the tornado goes fast, and the thunder makes a noise that it shall be given to neither of them to do any good.
How is the poor child? Oh dear, I do wish I had told Tilly to bring her some of my skin cream. It's so soothing.
What happened?
Well, that's what we want to know.
I remember now. That awful woman.
Well, I'd like that.
Not you, I mean.
I know very well whom you mean. Madame Alta.
I was fast asleep.
You mustn't think of it now. You never should have put her to sleep in Uncle Marvin's room, Mother. So many people work out of time and it's been used by someone who's passed on.
You mean that he? That room? Oh, I'm going to faint again. Oh, you mustn't. I tell you I must. Would I just pour the water right on her in the garden?
I feel better now, really I do.
Verily. If you smell loaves and if you smell fishes, vegetables, juice, and they didn't have curry.
When I woke up out of a sound sleep, that woman was standing over me with her arms extended. Oh, it was dreadful.
Why, that's the second time that's happened tonight. That woman simply must. Oh, Mr. Marvin, you shouldn't come in here. My hair is in this condition.
Don't mind me, Mrs. Ryder. Any sign of Inspector Chance yet, Miss Arden?
Not yet. Have you found anything?
Not a clue. It certainly is baffling.
Nothing baffling about it. The inspector just went through that wall.
A likely story. Tilly, I thought I told you to stop winding those clocks.
I haven't found a single clock since we've been in this rider.
What?
Oh, but you must have.
No, indeed, I haven't.
Perhaps you wound them and forgot about it, Tilly.
No, indeed, she hasn't. If Tilly ever said you were, it isn't likely that she would forget it. She never does any work she
mystery I've ever encountered. It's like wheels within wheels. I cannot seem to find a clue.
You'd find the inspector, he'd be a clue. Mighty good one, too.
I just thought of another place to look. I'll be right back.
Oh dear, I wish that dear man hadn't seen me this way. He'll be so apt to think that the curl in my hair isn't genuine.
Excuse me, Miss Ryder, but I don't see what you want curl hangers for a place like this. Ever since you've been here, my hair starts curling all by itself every time something terrible happens.
And that's all the time.
Oh dear, whatever shall we do? I have it, I'll telephone for a detective.
Save yourself the trouble, Mother. That telephone is dead. The wires are out of order.
Hello? Hello? Well, isn't that always the way? You can never get the operator running on turn. You're quite right, Arthur. The phone is dead.
Now, isn't that amazing?
The place is haunted, I tell you. No sensible person would stay here 2 minutes.
I'm beginning to think you're right, Tilly. Oh, dear, I wish Mr. Marvin hadn't seen me this way. He'll be so apt to think I'm artificial.
I always thought lawyers knew things without having to see them. Where is everybody?
I'm right behind you, my love.
I wondered why you didn't come out before. Didn't you hear the commotion, Cousin Frank?
Not a sound. I have my hands over my ears and my fingers crossed.
You ought to have your head examined, Frank Backus.
Yes, my love. And if some people had their heads examined, they would draw a blank.
Well, what's that supposed to mean?
Nothing, silly dear. What could it mean?
There is intrigue going on here. Intrigue and double-dealing.
I knew it. Go on, madame.
A spirit hovers over me.
It hovered over me a few minutes ago.
Tragedy is about to take place. There is to be a marriage.
I'll tell the world that's a tragedy, all right.
A marriage? Oh, do go on, madame.
I see a tall, dignified man, obviously a cultured gentleman, a doctor or a lawyer.
A lawyer? Oh, do you mean Mr. Marvin? Oh, do go on, madame. I think you're perfectly gorgeous.
My spirit controls, sees, and knows all.
I can hardly wait to hear who Mr. Marvin's going to marry.
A woman who is much older in years than he thinks.
Oh!
She is trying to ensnare him.
This is dreadful!
Quite dreadful. But this man is not to be fooled. He has a shrewd mind and sees through anything that is artificial.
Oh, do go on, dear Madame Alda. I think you are perfectly gorgeous.
Well, this is revolting, that's what it is.
The message from the spirit world is filled with truth.
You're a fake, that's what you are, a cheap humbug. Well, if you're a medium, then I'm a...
Never mind telling us what you are, Lynn. We've known it ever since we arrived here.
Well, I wouldn't have Otis Marvin as a precious gift.
She never mentioned Mr. Marvin's name, Libby. You did.
Within the next hour, startling developments are going to occur.
Any mastermind can tell us that. Any fool can see that there have been plenty of strange things going on here.
A wife is about to lose her husband.
What's that?
Calm down, Frank. You're not the only husband in the world.
But I'm the only husband here. All the other men are single. The lucky dogs.
This husband is not to be murdered. He is coming to his senses and will soon be released.
What's that?
No woman can hold a man when she insists on doing his thinking for him. This husband is waking up and will soon desert his domineering wife. I can see him riding away from her in an automobile.
Did you say an automobile, madame?
I will not stand here and listen to another word that this humbug offers. Frank Backus, quit grinning like a Cheshire cat.
How to catch a grin, my love. You ought to know.
You are right, Lynn. This woman is an insulting impostor.
Please, Mrs. Backus, remember that I am Mrs. Ryder too at all times, and I am perfectly capable of fighting my own battles.
Yes, and what Frank has told me is true. You've always had plenty of them to fight.
There is too much noise here, too much confusion. I seek quiet so that watching over her.
But,
Furthermore, it will be proven that this Arden had nothing to do with the crime.
well, we know that. No member of the bride or family could ever commit a crime. It simply isn't done.
It will be a crime if you put it over that nice lawyer.
Go on, tell me more. The earthbound wished to know who committed the murder. It was done by...
Go on. Well, go on, madame. It was water melting, wasn't it?
I couldn't stay in a trance any longer. The strain was too great.
Dear Uncle Marvin, his love still surrounds me.
I'm glad that I was able to tell you such pleasant things.
Oh, some world they were pleasant.
He's back!
Yes, indeed, I'm back, and I'm still determined to get to the bottom of this.
Did you hear from the correspondence school during your absence?
You keep a civil tongue in your head, young woman, or you'll find yourself in trouble. I go to the 5 and 10 cent stores to buy traps with people like you.
And I'm sure that the police department has plenty of cheese for those traps.
Where have you been, Chief?
And how did you do that black eye? It surely is a beauty. Did you have a fight?
It was too one-sided to be a fight. I really do want to hit the fellow, but I had to.
Why did you have to hit him?
He kept aiming blows at me and missing all of them until I felt against cold from having him fed me.
He's all pumped up over his success.
Yeah, he's all pumped up with no place to burst.
Did you catch the criminals?
I got one of them all tied up in the garage out yonder.
Well, who is it?
I don't know. It was so dark that I couldn't see. But he's a dangerous criminal, I'm sure of that.
Well, I hope you're satisfied with tonight's work, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Well, where have you been?
I've been out in the garage bringing you to consciousness and setting you free.
Was that you?
It was, and as soon as I removed the rope that you were tied up in, you jumped on me and started to fight with me.
Then you were the man that I tied up. You were the one I thought was a criminal.
I was the one, and in the meantime, the real culprit made their great escape.
Mistakes will happen.
Mistakes will happen. But they should be placed on the authority of the police force.
I agree with you perfectly, Mr. Marvin.
You know, I've only heard that 1% of all men with mustaches are stupid. Unfortunately, I've only ever met that 1%.
Maybe you are the real criminal after all. How do I know that you ain't?
How do you know anything with your limited mentality? I'm having you taken off this case in the morning.
But I'll have everything all cleared up by morning. But how did you go to the garage? I tied you up before I left you in there.
And any child can pry those knots loose.
Looks like you better take another lesson in time, Hawkshaw.
Tying and dying go together, don't they?
I had only been on this case for a couple of hours before I confessed you to the real murderess.
If you mean my daughter, sir.
Now, of course, we know Miss Arden had nothing to do with this series of crimes that have infested Hillcrest, or her uncle's murder either.
But what did she confess to it for? How is a detective supposed to find the real murderer if everybody's going to say that they did it?
You had a wonderful opportunity earlier this evening when you were abducted from this room.
That's right. What happened anyhow? We all saw you standing there, and when we looked again, you were gone.
I was standing right here when suddenly a pair of arms extended out of the cloud and pulled me through this.
Well, go on.
When I came to, I was lying in the dark. I found out afterwards that I was in the garage.
You mean the patient?
Let us just say that I passed out, but only for the moment.
You mean to say that a pair of arms came through this door? But this door is locked.
Positively. That door has been there as far back as I can remember.
50 years. It looks like an antique.
How dare you!
The clock, I mean.
And it keeps perfect time. If anyone were to come through it, the clock would stop.
Positively, I don't believe a word of it.
I do. Anything's liable to happen in this house. Look at the rest of the clocks in this place. They go all by themselves without even being wound up.
That's right. How do you account for that, Chief?
Why do the people here call me Chief?
Because that's the name of the train that leaves the station every day.
Aha! Yeah, I have a clue.
Well, what is it? Let's hear it.
Has there been any insanity in Marvin Ryder's family?
I'll tell the world there has.
I knew it. Tell me all about it.
Well, there's not much to tell. But I know that there was a streak of insanity in Marvin Ryder's family, because at one time or another, all of his family members tried to borrow money from him.
I know who killed Marvin Ryder. It was Warner Melton, and he stole the $20,000 out of the safe.
That isn't true. The paperwork had been removed from outside of the safe, but the safe itself had been opened.
We'll soon find out about that. I have the combination of the safe and a notebook inside my pocket. Come along, everybody.
Oh, Inspector Chance, how long is the life of the average detective?
Much too long, judging by the way he looks.
Never mind about the way I look. This time tomorrow, I'll be $20,000 to the good.
That won't be of much help to you, cockshaw. You can't buy intelligence with money. Come along, Frank.
Do you suppose there's anything in that ball garden?
What bump, Cousin Frank?
Oh, you know. All that stuff that female lady told us about talking to the dead?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Well, she sure did tell Stella a thing or two.
Why don't you make your prophecy come true and assert yourself?
Oh, I don't know that that would do so much good. I'd have to do all my thinking by myself then.
So it was you who put Inspector Chance through the door of that box?
Of course it wasn't. I couldn't be in two places at one time, could I? I was standing down there when the inspector was abducted.
That box. Did you get it out of Uncle Marvin's safe?
Of course. I had the deuce of a time finding the combination, but I finally succeeded.
But the money!
What money?
The $20,000 mentioned in his will. It was in that box.
If it was, it must have vanished before I ever saw the box.
Warner, I believed in you, shielded you, tried to protect you. There's a limit even to my endurance. I must know the truth.
You shall know it. I promise you that.
Go on, I'm waiting for an explanation.
You'll have it in the morning?
That won't do. I must have it now.
But that's impossible, I tell you.
Unless you tell me the whole truth, everything is at an end between us.
You mean that?
I mean that our engagement is at an end.
I know you don't mean a word of it. Courage, Arden. Have faith.
I'll answer the bell.
Maybe it's another clue. Oh,
Better stay where you are. You may be kidnapped again.
who could be calling at this time of the night?
I knew it all the time. The black tin box containing the money was stolen from out of the safe.
Oh, Mother, you don't mean it, do you?
Of course I do. It's been stolen by somebody who had the combination. What are you crying for? You didn't take it, did you?
She might have. I suspected her from the start.
And that's how I knew she wasn't guilty. Hawkeye, you just couldn't be right no matter how hard you tried.
That's so good of you. I'm so sorry to trouble you.
No trouble at all, my dear. It's always a pleasure to be of service to a pretty girl like you.
Thanks so much. I thought I'd never get here.
I'll have to prepare a hot drink for you.
What do you know about this murder? And remember that anything you say will be used against you.
Murder.
I said murder, and that's what I meant. What are you doing?
What?
You heard me. What is the purpose of your visit?
There isn't purpose. I came because Marvin ordered me to.
Oh, he did, eh?
Of course he did, and he'll tell you so himself when he gets here.
Otis Marvin will never tell me another thing again. I'm through with that man forever.
But Mother,
You don't know a thing about this, Arden. He proposed to me a few minutes ago when we were inspecting the safe.
Then Madame Waldo was wrong. You did manage to ensnare him.
but he proposed marriage to you, darling.
Didn't you see him fawn all over this new arrival? And didn't she just say that he ordered her to come here? No wonder he made me promise to keep our engagement a secret.
No wonder.
You are making a grave mistake. What sort of place is this anyhow?
You'll find out. Your troubles are just starting.
We've had ours ever since we've arrived.
If you'll allow me to remind you that I'm investigating this crime,
If you didn't remind us of it every so often and making some great blunder, we'd never know it.
what is your name, please?
Arlene Ivy.
Occupation?
Sir, I'm a lady.
No occupation? So what do you know about this murder? Cut.
I'd advise you to postpone your questionings, Inspector. Don't you agree with me, Libby dear?
How dare you speak to me, you...
But Libby, I don't understand.
Well, what is this woman doing here?
I haven't the remotest idea. I've only met her a few minutes ago.
That's correct.
But she just said that you ordered her to come here.
You misunderstood me, madam. I said that Marvin had commanded that I come here.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it? He's the only Marvin around here.
I am here at the orders of Marvin Ryder, the owner of Hillcrest.
Marvin Ryder? But Marvin Ryder was my uncle. He's been dead for over a week.
Dead. But that's impossible. I received a message from him only yesterday.
A kindred spirit! I knew it. I received a message from Marvin Ryder only half an hour ago from the spirit world.
But my message isn't from the spirit world. This letter was written by Marvin Ryder and delivered only 2 days ago.
Don't worry, dear. I'll protect you.
The inspector, he's vanished again.
Let's hope he stays that way.
There will be no more escape for you this time, young man, nor will you be able to place the burden of your crimes on Miss Arden's shoulders.
Is it safe to come out?
Quite safe. There will be no more mysterious occurrences happening here tonight. I'm quite sure of that. The real culprit stands before you.
Warner, Arden, I forbid you to speak to this criminal again.
He isn't a criminal, he's...
It's all right, Iris. Let them think what they want to.
Aha! Now, you thought you could get away with these murders.
Evidently our inspector's mixed up in another fight.
Well, isn't anyone going to welcome me back home?
Oh, I knew this place was haunted, Josh!
Stop that screaming, Tilly.
Marvin! Uncle Marvin, I thought you were dead and buried.
I'm afraid your reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated, dear girl. If I may borrow a phrase from Mark Twain. You got my message, I see, Arlene.
Oh, Uncle Marvin, it's so wonderful that you're okay. It's been so dreadful without you. We missed you so.
No doubt.
Oh, we're here, Uncle Marvin.
So I see. And who is this person who tried to prevent me from entering my own home?
He's a police inspector. You've lived up to your reputation of doing unusual things, Marvin. You've captured a police detective.
Now we'll have to take that correspondence course all over again.
You see, when we found a body underneath the wrecked automobile, we naturally assumed it was you. The face was unrecognizable.
All your credentials are on the body, Uncle Marvin. Even the gold watch and chain, and the other jewelry that you've always worn.
Even your wallet. That convinces more than anything that you have met your death under the wrecked automobile.
So naturally, after customary time, I asked all those who were concerned in your will to gather here at Hillcrest while I read it. Those were your orders.
That's right. They were. Good Lord, you didn't read my will, did you? You wanted to do codicils about my murder?
Well, of course I did. What else was I to do? We were all positive you were dead.
Except for me. There are moments when I didn't believe it, being gifted with psychic powers and all. But on the other hand...
Then I'm afraid you are doomed to disappointment. Because I'll certainly need my money and my property while I live.
The Lord give it, and the Lord take it away.
The codicils were placed in my will because I received several threatening letters from rival clock companies.
Clock companies.
For some time, I've been working on an invention that will revolutionize the clock industry. Several unscrupulous manufacturers were determined to get their hands on my invention.
How dreadful.
My invention was almost completed.
Not quite, sir. That's what we quarrel over after you're good enough to declare me out and deal with you.
And justly so, for you were of great help to me, Warner, my boy. You see, Warner had a theory about my invention that I didn't quite agree with. We quarreled. I determined to go away by myself and test my theory.
But you left in your car, and that was found wrecked.
I'm getting to that. If you remember, I had hired a new chauffeur. We'd only gone a few miles when he held me up at the point of a gun and robbed me. He then delivered a stinging blow to my head and left me unconscious on the roadway.
How awful!
When I came to, I found all my clothes and valuables gone. The chauffeur's clothes were beside me. I downed them hastily and found enough money in one of the pockets to live on for several days, if I was economical.
What a break for you.
I determined to find a quiet place where my identity would remain a secret. Here I worked on my invention and discovered that Warner's theory was the correct one. was completely isolated from the outside world. All that mattered was to perfect my invention.
And what invention is that, Uncle Marvin?
It's a wheel within a wheel.
It's all I've had ever since we've arrived. Wheels in our heads.
As you probably know, every clock or watch has a center wheel. And if anything ever happens to this wheel, the timepiece stops completely. That's right. Warner and I have worked on a tiny, delicate wheel that when placed within the center wheel keeps the watch or clock going for at least a year without ever having to resort to winding. Of course, it isn't as simple as the statement explanation I just gave you. It's much more involved.
Not only involved, but very intricate.
But that's the general idea. We'll make a fortune between us, Warner and I. I'm convinced of that.
Well, allow me to be the first to congratulate you, Warner. I always knew you had great talents, my boy.
But what about all the strange things that have been going on here?
Well, I am responsible for them. You see, Mrs. Ryder had forbidden me to see Arden, and it was absolutely necessary for me to be in his house and examine all of the clocks.
I'm beginning to see light.
I assumed with the rest of you that Mr. Ryder was dead. Naturally, I wanted to protect my interests and those of the Ryder estate before rival companies beat me to the invention.
Our agreement was that in case if either of us passed on, the patent reverts to the remaining person.
So I prepared to threaten you all the way from Hillcrest. One of the tool makers who turns out our little wheels had exceptionally long arms. It was he who placed the letters on the fireplace, pulled up the shades, and abducted the inspector here.
If only he'd stayed abducted.
It was the toolmaker's face that Mrs. Ryder saw in the fireplace.
And I thought it was my late husband.
This box contains various parts of clocks. I took it out of Mr. Ryder's safe after I located the combination.
Well, what about the $20,000 mentioned in your will?
I'm afraid I neglected to place it in the tin box I intended doing.
I tore the fur rug off the wall from in front of the safe because I once read of somebody or other during that mystery story that impressed me greatly.
Then how about the letters placed on top of the fireplace?
Oh, those were simple. They're written with invisible ink, and I have a bell which gives a perfect imitation of a telephone when it's ringing, and we manipulated that to frighten all of you.
Then you were responsible for the taps on the doors, the lights going on and off suddenly, and all the other mysterious things that baffled us so?
Yes, with the help of the assistant I spoke of earlier, and of Iris Elba, who is going to be the secretary in our new venture.
One of our secretaries, Warner. Miss Iris is to be my private secretary. And who knows? She might be kind enough to become Mrs. Marvin Ryder.
You embarrass me, Mr. Ryder.
Come along, everybody. I'd like a little snack before I return.
I'll give you an art of my blessing in the morning. Finally, I can get some rest and my skin will have a chance to do its work.
Wait for me, little dear.
Come along, Obi.
Come along, Frank. Now you won't have to worry about what kind of car to buy. Not that I ever intended to allow you to have one.
Oh, but I intend to buy Mr. Backus a car out of our first profits.
That's immense. And I won't have to extend my arms anymore and take messages from dead people. Gee, I sure am glad.
Now I can go home to
Strawberry corners.
It's crusted corner.
What's the difference? All corners are alike. Come along, Frank.
Coming, my love.
Hey, Chief, wake up.
What? Where am I? Oh, yes. Now I remember. I get the $20,000! 10 for catching the murderer, and 10 for my expenses. Just think of it today. $20,000!
Who would give money at a student party?
What's that? Scriptures?
No, indeed, that's just plain common sense.
Tilly.
Chief!